from my heart and from my hand. Why don't people understand my intention?
Computer running slow?
I'm waiting.
Caught a virus?
Wait.
Does your computer seem to have a life of its own?
Malfunction. Need input.
The computer guru is here.
Thank God you're here!
Call in now.
Now it's Mike Swanson, your computer guru.
Hello and welcome to the Computer Guru Show. My name's Mike, here to deal with your technology needs and treat you like a person in the process. Man, it's quiet in the background right now.
It is a little bit.
We got Tom. We haven't had Tom in a long time around here. Hey, Tom, how are you? What's going on over there?
I'm just trying to be quiet as a mouse.
Quiet.
It's quiet over here, too.
You're allowed to speak. You can do that. 790-2040 if you, the listener, would like to speak. Give us a call, 520-790-2040. Be sure to say hi to Tom, because it's been a while since
I'll say hi to them, even if they don't say hi to me.
Yeah, there you go. Well, you do have to answer the phone. I guess that's how that works.
Yes, sir.
And Tara is here.
Hello, hello.
Tara is obsessively refreshing on her article.
Well, actually, right now I was tweeting that we are live.
Oh. But earlier, you were
Yes.
obsessively refreshing the page.
I'm very excited about it. That's why.
Tara wrote an article, and it's got almost 6,000 views.
Woo.
She's very happy.
Yay.
As opposed to, what, 300, you said?
Yeah, I think 300 is the max for
Nice.
my own content.
Well, as it turns out, your content is worth more than 300.
Woo.
Look at me being nice.
I
and
know.
Everything.
I'm not used to this. I don't know how to react.
If you want to also participate in the chat, you can. You can go to gurushow.com/chat or listen live.
Listen-live.
Listen-live, right?
I don't know what happens if you leave the dash out. I should check.
I don't know. Let's find
Let
out.
me do it.
Anyway, you can join us in the chat. You can ask questions there if you don't feel like speaking. But, otherwise, just call Tom, 520-790-2040. Say hi to him. He'll say hi to you, and then he'll say, what do you want? What do you want to talk about? Well, he'll probably say something nicer than that. However, there was somebody that was being not very nice recently to Google.
Yeah.
Well, and there's another person not being nice to Stephen Hawking. So let's get the not nice out of the way.
There's a lot of not nice going on right now.
Well, I think that we have a national epidemic of not nice happening at the moment.
Worldwide.
Yeah.
Let's go bigger than national. It's worldwide.
Everybody sucks.
Get your crap together, humanity.
There we go. So there was a guy that felt that Google was watching him. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people feel as though Google might be
Well, they
watching
probably
them.
are.
And there's a particular likelihood that Google may be watching you to a certain extent. However, I think that this response was a little overboard.
Just a tad, maybe.
Right. How about Molotov cocktails and bullets through windows? And did he or did he not burn down a Street View car? There seems to be conflicting reports on that.
I don't know.
Anyway, it turns out that this guy set a bunch of fires at the Googleplex.
He went GTA on Google.
Right. He decided to set one of the Google camera cars on fire, the Google Street View cars.
Yeah.
And has done some other things that are not nice, stalking individuals at the Googleplex. Who knew?
So who's watching who then?
Yeah, I
He
guess.
thinks Google's watching him.
It was a projection,
Yeah.
right? He's just, I'm watching you, Google.
I've got my eye on you.
Don't get him fired up. Wow. So I don't know how much those Street View cars cost, but I imagine they're not
Probably
cheap.
quite a bit, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably an expensive car.
Yeah.
So anyway, my suggestion to you, if you feel that Google's watching you, you should probably not burn Google cars. Just arson's a bad thing. Arson's bad, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So no fire, please.
Don't play with the fire.
Yeah, nor shoot some type of pellets through the windows at Google, which had some sort of mysterious white powder in them that is still being analyzed.
Oh, that's not cool.
Yeah.
This dude is off his rocker.
He's a bit off his rocker. And we'll just go and quickly get the other off their rocker story out of the way, which is the brain on wheels, which is Stephen Hawking's.
Yes.
Apparently he was being stalked and threatened by some U.S. citizen who lives in Norway.
Yeah, the whole thing is weird.
So she apparently sent him a bunch of tweets that was along the lines of, "I'm going to kill you" at this
At a talk or a
an
convention.
astronomy convention
Yeah.
that was in Spain. And they arrested her in Spain with
A full itinerary.
You're right. She really wanted to know where he was at all times. She was, she's a little bonkers too. Hey, first of all, why would you want to kill Stephen Hawking?
He's awesome.
Yeah,
I don't know why. There's no motive. There's no motive good enough for that.
I think it was probably an anti-science thing.
Possibly, or maybe she thought that Stephen Hawking was watching her.
Oh, maybe, maybe she's related to the guy that set the Google car on
It
fire.
could be.
There's some sort of connection there that we don't know about. Oh my goodness!
I know, there's a lot of craziness.
All right, let's take some phone calls here. Let's go ahead and talk to John. Hello, John. How are you today?
Good. How about yourself?
Well, it's all right. We're just getting the bad news out of the way.
Yeah. I've got a laptop. I had to change the hard drive, so a buddy of mine was transferring the data from one drive to the other one.
Right?
Well, I had taken him an older drive, and he said that drive infected his system with a SVC host virus. He said it's by the same name as a regular SVC host file,
Right.
that we. What can you tell me about that? Can you get rid of it easy?
Okay, so you brought someone an older drive. And this
To
was
see if it would work.
all right, and this is the target device that the older drive we're talking about here.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was going to be the target. Yeah,
And your friend has antivirus on his computer, I imagine.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think.
They're nuts about security.
Chances are that you didn't give them an infection. It's pretty unlikely, actually, as an external device, because things like rootkits and other types of infections that would be on your drive, of course, aren't active because they're not running on the machine. And if he had decent antivirus on there, it would have caught any of that stuff before it could have infected his machine, depending on the antivirus, of course.
Right.
Like if he had, I don't know, Norton or McAfee, it's pretty likely that that's a terrible antivirus, in my opinion. So don't sue me. And yeah, it's unlikely. The whole service host thing going bonkers is not terribly abnormal. I mean, service host is a built-in portion of Windows. And it does a whole bunch of different stuff. So
Right.
it often gets confused with infections. However, the usage for service host and the memory usage and CPU usage can go off the charts if you do get an infection, because things like your antivirus use service host as a back end. So, I think
Service host has a what?
it's sort of a back end. Service host is a bunch of the background stuff that Windows does, and it all runs under the same name of service host.
Oh, okay.
So let's say, for example, you're opening up a browser and there is a scan happening to make sure that the website that you're going to is safe. It's going to run under the name service host. The same thing's going to happen under a whole bunch of other, like just the networking functions of Windows. You know, how it gets its IP address, how it connects to the local network, and then how it routes out to the outside. That also runs under service host. You'll notice that if you look at your process list, you probably have 5 or 6 different service hosts running at any given time. And,
Right, I've noticed that.
and that's because Windows spawns a separate copy of service host for everything that it does in the background. So, first of all, don't worry about you infecting them. That's pretty unlikely. If they did, or if the machine did pick up some type of an infection, then a simple scan will take care of it. So
Okay.
I wouldn't worry about that a whole lot. It's not a big deal.
I don't think it even had an operating system on it.
And it didn't necessarily have to have one to infect. However,
Right.
it's still really unlikely.
Yeah.
So I would say sweat it not. Tell them to run a scan. It's probably going to come up clean, or it may have just brought to light an infection that they already had, depending on which antivirus they have.
Right.
Good luck, John.
Okay. Thanks.
Have a nice day. Let's go ahead and squeeze Tony in here. Hello, Tony. How are you?
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Oh, man, long time no see.
Yeah.
How are you, Tony?
I'm doing great. Calling from Monterey, and I'm sitting here looking at the machine you built me 8 years ago, and it's running like a top, so I appreciate that.
My pleasure.
Comment and a question. The comment is, I just finished loading Windows 10 a couple of days ago, and like other people have said, it was like trying to put socks on an octopus. And that's a long story, and I won't go into that, but I do have a question for you.
All right.
My Avast subscription ends in November, and I've always been a fan of it until recently when I was still on Windows 7, and I was having problems with it, and I called Avast for support, and they spent most of their time trying to get me to buy a full-feature, full technical support package for whatever it was per year.
Well, that's because you weren't actually talking to Avast. You're talking to a third-party support.
Yeah, I suspected they were trying to sell me something. Well, I know they were trying to sell me something. My question is, my favorite feature is the safe zone. And I don't know if you've discussed the safe zone before, but do they overstate the security of that particular feature? Can I get that safety or the security that I believe is inherent in the safe zone through some other, perhaps Windows Defender with Malwarebytes, or do I really need Avast to make sure nobody can see what I'm doing?
Okay, so first of all, the safe zone is what's called a sandbox. As far as Windows is concerned, there are several sandboxing softwares that are out there. Many of them are free, so there are some options there. As far as its relative security, they're pretty safe. If configured properly, a sandbox is a great way to prevent system-wide infection, because the sandbox will only allow the infection to run within that sandbox, and as soon as you close the session, everything associated with it goes away. So there is a safety that is useful when it comes to that particular sandbox. Whether or not I feel that it is something that everyone should have, not really. To a certain extent, it's confusing. And the last thing I want to do is confuse people. However, if the one that's built into Avast is very easy to use, it's sort of automatic, and it's useful. So if you like that feature, stick with Avast, and it works pretty well with that feature. However, I'll post some other sandboxes that are available to Facebook so that you guys can see them.
Super. Appreciate it.
Excellent.
Now, on the other hand, am I going to have the same kind of, and I think you've addressed this before, but I've forgotten, it's been so many weeks since I remember hearing it, but if I stick with Windows Defender and add malware as a virus protection and use Malwarebytes as a malware protection on top of that, is that the same kind of security that I'm looking for, or is it a little bit less than what I get if I use the safe zone or a sandbox-like feature?
Let's just say it's different.
Okay.
It's not necessarily more or less, but it's two different methods of protecting the machine. Yeah. So if you're using Defender and Malwarebytes, I think that you have adequate protection. However, that's same thing can be said for you can use Avast, and we still think that you should probably have Malwarebytes on there. Yeah. So it's just a different form, different type of protection. So not necessarily one is better or worse than the other, just different.
Got it. I appreciate it.
Appreciate the call. Hopefully Monterey is beautiful this time of year, as it always is.
It's absolutely beautiful right now.
All right. Well, thanks for calling.
Okay. Take care, Mike.
Thank you.
Bye.
Let's go ahead and take a moment to mention our sponsor, which is Perfection Auto Works. You can go visit their brand new website, perfectionautoworks.com. I wonder if they're going to open up one in Monterey. Man, I love Monterey. It's a beautiful place. You ever been there?
Yeah, it is gorgeous.
God, that's pretty. Anyway, those people, Tony and his family, they are just beautiful, beautiful people. I'm really happy. Those people. What do you mean, you people? Anyway, go to perfectionautoworks.com. Check out their ad that's coming up next. It's just, man, I'm pretty happy.
Yeah.
I've had a good day this morning, which is weird for a Saturday because normally I'd be really unhappy by now.
Well,
Anyway, perfectionautoworks.com. Check them out. They do a 26-point inspection for free on your vehicle. It's beautiful. Our favorite word is free.
It's
gorgeous.
How,
you know how we love free around here.
Love it.
Love it. Call Perfection Auto Works. They'll appreciate it. Tell them the Computer Guru sent you. We'll be right back.
Your computer guru, Mike Swanson, is here to help you tame that beast of a machine. Join the chat right now at gurushow.com or call in. This is the Computer Guru Show on KVOY, The Voice. Mike Swanson, your computer guru, is just a click away. Listen and watch at gurushow.com. This is the Computer Guru Show on KVOI, The Voice.
Welcome back to the Computer Guru Show. My name's Mike, here to deal with your technology needs and treat you like a person in the process. 790-2040.
Because that's what you do.
That's what I do. And stuff.
I don't know what
and
we're doing.
Things.
Stuff and things.
Stuff and things. Well, let's go ahead and talk about your stuff right now.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
Apparently is a big deal.
Apparently, yeah.
I still have not seen it other than for 4 seconds outside of the studio today.
Yeah.
When Tara showed me the screen.
That was pretty much the whole game. I'm not going to lie.
Well, where you live, maybe.
Yeah, well.
So Pokemon is based off of, at least appears to be based off of, the Ingress game.
Yes.
Now,
highly.
We talked about Ingress a few years ago on the show. It's a game that encourages you to get off your butt and walk around with your phone and find things.
Right.
It's kind of like it's like a treasure hunt.
Yeah, it's using augmented reality. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So you look at your phone and it points at a landmark or some type of feature that is interesting, and then so in Ingress you have to control like these little points.
Right.
So
There's
as an example,
portals of information.
As an example, there's a little tank thing down the street here that's parked at some business that's near the radio station here, and that is a portal. And so you would, as one of two teams, want to control that point. So you would, if the other team had it, you would destroy all of their little markers, I guess, and then create your own and say, I hold this. This is my spot now, and you'd plant a flag for your team.
No flag, no country.
That's right. And now in Pokemon, how does this work? Is it similar?
It's kind of the same thing, I guess. I don't really know how the Pokemon points work because there are none where I live. There are no Pokemon. There are no Pokemon points. There are no Pokemon gyms. So
poor thing.
Oh, it's aggravating. It really is. And there's a lot of other people that are in my boat too. So that's why I went ahead and wrote the article the aforementioned article that we mentioned.
Aforementioned.
Mentioned. Yeah, it's very aggravating because you're like excited, especially me as a 90s kid, right? Came out Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Red on the Game Boy, all excited. It's like, yeah, I'm going to go catch them all, right? Knew all the names of all the Pokemon. If this was beyond your generation, then your kids or your grandkids were probably into it.
Tom, you know anything about this Pokemon stuff? You ever heard of it?
All I know is I think Pokemon means pocket monsters.
Yes.
That's all I know.
Yes.
Man, he knows more than I do.
Boom.
Man.
Laying down.
Man, Tom is the guru today.
Well,
yes.
I have grandchildren.
Yeah, see? There you go. So you've at least heard of it. Well, growing up as a 90s kid, this is like a dream to kind of live in that universe and be able to catch the Pokemon and everything. Except when there are none. Because you don't live in a populated area. Because Pokemon Go works on the same engine as Ingress. The way Ingress worked was the points of interest were historical landmarks or other things that you'd go to look at. So in reality, it's a marker of a historical landmark. On your screen, it's a portal of information, right?
Right.
And you'd collect energy by walking around. And the more populated the area, the more energy you could pick up. Same thing with Pokemon. The more populated the area, the more Pokemon there are. So I'm in a not populated area, and there are no Pokemon.
Just goes to show that there's nothing of interest in Moreno.
That's not true. Just on the outskirts where I am. And it's still pretty. It's just for gamers, it's not. It's
Right.
not very good.
So it turns out if you're 35 minutes from Mexico, there's nothing interesting for you to play in this game.
Probably not. No.
Because that's where Tara's at, right? You're way out
I
there.
don't think I'm 35 minutes from Mexico.
You actually are.
It's northwest, though. It's not southwest.
You just don't even know.
Are you where the cotton fields are or used
I'm
to be?
past them, yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're still there.
I'm just going to say,
They trade 'em
I
out.
fly my airplane out there. Believe me, I know where Mexico's at.
Okay.
So
Well, I'm going to pretend I don't know and move on. But yeah, it just came out. Pokemon Go came out a couple few days ago, so I decided to try it out because the hype train was real. So I decided to jump on, and I missed the train.
So while you're in the city today,
Mm-hmm.
are you going to go around and...
I just caught 2
Nice.
while the show's been going.
What?
I was trying to get a picture with the augmented reality so that I could post it up and have, Guru Show and media, blah, blah, blah.
I thought you were grabbing butterflies.
Yeah, right. No, it doesn't. My augmented reality won't work.
So here's the thing with the whole augmented reality games. If you haven't heard us say it before, and if you just don't know this as a fact, people who walk around with their phones up in front of their face are more likely to be injured.
Yes.
They trip over things. They walk into streets.
There have been several injuries, and I think a lot of it is these people who are trying to play are now trying to jump over walls and whatnot to catch Pokemon, and it's not something they are used to doing.
Right.
At all.
They should totally put Pokemons in the bottom of Doritos bags.
What is wrong with you? No. No, I'm sure it's happened. Have you seen some of the pictures that people are taking? There was a Diglett in a toilet.
I don't even know what that is.
A Pokemon was coming out of the toilet. Another Pokemon was in somebody's coffee mug. It's kind of a neat little deal.
You know what this reminds me of?
What's that?
Cracker Jack boxes that had the little toy down on the bottom
It's
of
something
the
like
Cracker
that,
Jack
yeah.
box.
Except they don't give toys anymore. It's just a crappy little sticker.
It always was a crappy little something.
I never ate Cracker Jacks because I don't like popcorn. So
So I guess the PSA here is
Be careful.
Right. This is for a lot of people, at least some of the ones I've seen on the internet, this is their first foray into exercise apparently ever.
a lot of people are finding new places because they're actually discovering where they live, which isn't done much anymore when you're sitting in front of your computer screen or a TV screen.
You know, when Mike said that, he gave me an accusing look.
I did not.
And then he's really good at that, by the way. See? Right there. That's what I'm talking about. They're discovering things that, historical landmarks, dead bodies.
Yeah, some girl ran across a dead body while trying to find Pokemon.
Yep. She jumped a wall to get to the river so she could get a water source Pokemon.
Right.
And instead found a dead body.
That's no good.
She called 911. They came. They said that...
I'm guessing there's no dead body Pokemon.
No. There are dead Pokemon, but no dead body Pokemon.
Right. None of them actual human... Yeah, no.
Right.
And also there are businesses now that are just tired of people being in there looking for Pokemon. So they've got signs up that say Pokemon are for paying customers only.
Yep.
And it's fun.
There are notices at workplaces saying we are not paying you to catch virtual pocket monsters, so you need to work and do it on your break, or else you'll have plenty of time to catch them all when you're unemployed.
We have the right to refuse any Pokemon seekers.
Exactly.
That's right. Your paycheck will be virtual.
And you know what? I'm kind of down with that. I understand that. I wouldn't want people just walking in my house. Not that they're going to find any Pokemon there anyway.
It's like, I was about to say something about the why would they be out there? Why?
I really got nothing. There's really not much out there.
See, this is what you don't understand, is that Tara lives in the middle of nowhere. Like nowhere. There's coyotes.
There's like a bar, restaurant thing.
That does not qualify as a bar restaurant. It
What,
does
Circle
qualify
S?
as a thing.
Circle S does. They just won an award for their burgers. But I have had to wait for somebody to move their horse in order to park. That has happened.
Yeah. So, yeah, Tara lives in the middle of nowhere.
It's beautiful. It's quiet. I love it.
Except for...
The drive and no Pokemon.
Right. Except for everything you complain about.
2 drawbacks. 2 major drawbacks. Everything else is nice.
All right. You know what I think we should do?
A little bit of a break.
We should probably take a break. As soon as Tom gets off the phone, we'll take a break.
And then we'll take a call.
Yeah. Yes, we will. So if you'd like to be part of the show, give us a call, 790-2040. That's 520-790-2040. We'll be right back.
Whether you're dealing with hardware installation or, heaven forbid, a virus,
No!
Mike Swanson is answering all your questions one by one. So call in or chat in with yours. The website, gurushow.com. Tune in, click in, and kick back. This is the Computer Guru Show on AM 1030 KVOY The Voice. Mike Swanson, your computer guru, is just a click away. Listen and watch at gurushow.com. This is the Computer Guru Show.
Welcome back to the Computer Guru Show. My name is Mike, here to deal with your technology needs and treat you like a person. In the process...
I'm running out of coffee.
Need more coffee?
It's scaring me.
That's okay. We have another break. You can go get more coffee.
I know.
790-2040 if you want to be part of the show. So let's talk about things that are, less scary and terrible. How about scientists teaching robots to hunt prey?
How is that less scary and terrible?
It's not. Now,
that's terrifying.
I love that the tagline on this is the main headline is scientists are teaching robots how to hunt down prey. And then the sub-tagline is, one day this could be a very important skills for robot across the world.
In what way?
Why?
How? How is it? You know what? All I'm thinking of is like giant robots running after humanity. That's how they're going to hunt. They're going to hunt us.
The article photo is a cheetah hunting down a gazelle.
Yeah, because that makes me totally want to get in on this.
Yeah, yeah, don't worry. It's a useful skill for robots.
Ridiculous.
Oh, man. All right, we're going to come back to the useful skill for robots. Let's take some calls here. Let's talk to Mark. Hello, Mark. How are you?
Hey, pretty good. Am I on?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, by the way, the network that robot hunter is Skynet.
Yeah.
It has begun.
Yeah. Anyway, so you were talking about, this is not the reason I'm calling, but I do have a serious question for you. But anyway, you're talking about Pokemon.
Yes.
Yeah. And of course, Americans cannot pronounce the Japanese words of any kind correctly or halfway correctly.
I make no attempt.
And, Pokemon is a interesting phrase, because it was originally English or American, pocket monster, and in Japanese is pronounced pocket monster. So now they contracted down to Pokemon, and then we take it back and call it Pokemon.
Gotta catch them all.
Whatever. And it's really originally an American word called pocket monster. Or
very nice.
Word. And there's a bunch of things like that, like, where you go to a bar and you're going to go sing something that you have the words for. You have to provide the the lyrics.
Right.
The music is there, and what do you call that?
Well, I guess that's karaoke here, right?
Yeah, karaoke.
Karaoke.
Here. And in Japanese is karaoke, which is a contraction for karaokestura, meaning empty orchestra.
Well, look at that. We're getting a lesson in language from Mark.
Anyway, so that's not why I called. So the reason I'm calling is today is the day, last night was supposed to be the night, that I'm upgrading to Windows 10. And I'm copying my data, and I did it wrong, I think. What I did is I have a 1 terabyte hard drive, external hard drive, and I have about a third of a terabyte of data, or stuff on my hard drive, on my computer hard drive. And so all I did is just say, made a subdirectory and copy everything into it.
Okay.
And that will give me a copy, but of course it's not the proper way to do it. And I went online to look up a better way to do an image, I guess.
Okay, so in the interest of brevity here, what are you trying to do here, Mark?
So should I use this, what this Google article is saying use a Macrium Reflect Free, or is there a better way to?
So you're
how do I
making a
back
backup for what purpose? Just to have a backup, or is this
to have a backup before I move to Windows 10?
All right,
7
so
and 10.
the pre-Windows 10 backup, you don't necessarily have to waste a whole bunch of time on.
Okay.
The rollback feature works really well in the event that you need to go back. And I think I've seen one failure so far where it was unrecoverable, but it was because of a hard drive failure, not because of a Windows upgrade problem. You should have a backup of some type, always. So the
Which
things
I
like
should anyway, yeah.
Yeah, so things like that software you mentioned there, that one I'm not a real big fan of, just because it's kind of a pain in the butt. But any of the image softwares will do. So Acronis or that, Macrium. What
you said Apprentice or what? What did you say?
Acronis?
Acronis.
Acronis is okay. It's all right. It's decent. Now, you can also just use the Windows backup and and make a backup to an external hard drive, and that'll be fine too. So any backup makes me happy. If you have two of them, that makes me even happier.
Because I have room, I'd like to make a, whatever it is. Because the way I did it is just, copy over, which is not probably the proper way.
Click on Start, type the word backup, and then use the Windows backup program. Because first of all, it costs you nothing. It's super easy to recover from in the event that you have some type of failure. And you're good to go.
All right. And it'll probably take like 10 hours to back it up.
Hopefully not.
Okay.
Thanks for the call, Mark. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Let's talk to Jeff. Hello, Jeff. How are you?
Doing great. Loving the 2 hours, Mike.
Well, thank you. What can I do for you?
Video driver question for you. I got a desktop Windows 10, and I got a little NVIDIA control panel pop-up that's saying, hey, you got a new driver ready.
NVIDIA Experience is popping up there?
Well, I don't know. It just says control panel. I don't know if I have if I have that full suite or whatever you call it, but I'm a little confused. It says, pops me up to their GeForce website, GeForce Game Ready driver. I don't know if that's the whole experience, if that's just the standard video driver, and on top of that, it's listed as for Windows 7, 64-bit, Windows 8.1, and Windows 8, and it doesn't even list Windows 10. So I'm a little skeptical or gun-shy to do this install. What do you recommend for it's a GeForce GTX 960?
All right. So if you're on the NVIDIA page, just get the GeForce Experience suite. And it will take care of updating the drivers for you.
And that's different than the control panel, Mike? The NVIDIA control panel?
Yeah, it's different than the NVIDIA control panel.
Okay.
So if you install the Experience, it will automatically uninstall the control panel, and it'll do the right drivers for you.
Okay. I will do that. So I don't need to worry about I know in the past I've heard you say to maybe get rid of or not use some of that stuff.
Only for the upgrade process.
Oh, okay.
So we're saying if you're upgrading from 7 or 8 to 10, you should uninstall all that stuff prior to the upgrade. After the upgrade, you can put it all back on. Everything's fine.
Okay, and it's called NVIDIA, what's it called, Experience?
The NVIDIA Experience, right.
All right.
And it's on the main driver page, so you'll just see a button that says NVIDIA Experience, and then you click on that button, it downloads the utility, and that utility then monitors the drivers and makes sure that they're up to date.
Great. Thanks for the info.
No problem. Thanks for the call, Jeff. Appreciate it. All right, back to murderous robots.
Well, they haven't murdered anyone yet.
Well, it is an important skill for robots in the future.
It is important.
Right.
How?
All right. And so I read the article because I was looking for exactly why are you calling this a useful skill? Mm-hmm. And they're talking in regards to things like smart shopping carts that follow you and things like that.
I'm not down with that.
All right. So murderous shopping carts is what we're talking about.
Get mowed down by a shopping cart. We're taking over the world.
I think Tom will appreciate that, right?
Oh my gosh.
Well, I was trying to explain something to Harry about the next hour. So can I
yes.
answer this telephone
Yeah,
call?
you can. Sorry, I'll leave you alone.
It's all good.
Man.
Murderous shopping carts.
Yeah, so they're basically saying that they're building a system that will allow robots, particularly shopping carts and stuff, to identify you and follow you and track you around.
I don't like that.
Right.
I can't even play devil's advocate.
Because you know that what will happen is Sprouts will program all of theirs to kill you because you didn't bring in your reusable, recyclable shopping bag.
Whole Foods with their mini shopping carts.
Right, they're just all over the
Getting
place.
real in the Whole Foods shop.
At least the Target ones are plastic, right? You just run away from those.
It's thick plastic, though. That could hurt. That could hurt a lot.
They're not saying that they're really going to try to build murder shopping carts.
Just because they're not going to try doesn't mean they won't. Your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
So intelligent shopping carts, so the ones that throw in the Oreos out of the cart, they're like, you're fat. Get out.
My shopping cart would be empty all times.
It's like, give me some broccoli. That's what you need. You need broccoli.
Oh, broccoli. I hate broccoli.
Brussels sprouts.
No, gosh.
All right, let's talk to Ray. Hello, Ray. How are you?
Morning. I'm doing great. I hope you guys are doing just as well.
We're working on it. What can I do for you?
Got a question. I got a computer just recently, and it came pre-installed with Glary Utilities, and I've been using it. It seems to be working well. It's got like a built-in registry cleaner, shortcut fixer, and a spyware remover, temporary files cleaner, startup manager.
Right.
All I do is click in it, and it runs, scans for issues, and seems to work well. I haven't had any problems, but just be on the safe side. Do you know of any issues with it, or should I be aware of anything?
I don't like people using the registry cleaners, but otherwise the Glary Utility Suite is pretty okay.
Okay, so there's nothing I should be aware of or watch out for?
No, that one actually doesn't make me angry, oddly enough, out of all of those ones that are out there. Just stay away from the registry cleaner, just because, first of all, there's no such thing as a registry cleaner. And everything else in the Glary Utilities is okay, as far as I know. Now, Howard at the shop deals with those utilities way more than I do, and I haven't heard him complain about it. So, but you can give him a call down at the shop. I think Carl's in today, so you can call down at the shop at 304-8300. They will give you some insight as to how they feel about it. But as far as I'm concerned, Glary's okay. Okay.
Now, the only other thing is there was a note with it that said check startup once every 6 months. I'm not really sure what that means. What do they mean by startup? Does startup do they mean like the config files, or
sort of? It measures the amount of startup time and how long each program takes to start up when you turn on your computer, and then offers you suggestions on things that you could disable to make your machine start up faster. That is unnecessary since Windows 10, because Windows 10 does it on its own, and that was a useful Windows 7 utility, but since then, it's not all that useful.
Now, it was recommended because of the older programs and the older hardware they have that I keep Windows 7. They said you can give it a shot on Windows 10. Chances are you're not going to like it, or you're going to have. Yeah, it's going to present problems. That's
How old is your hardware?
It's about 5 years old.
Are AMD or Intel?
It's AMD.
Yeah, you should stay in 7.
Yeah.
So, yeah, next machine you get will have 10 on it. So use that one until it dies.
Yeah, they basically said just back up everything, so when it does die, it's going to be good to go on something else,
Yeah, it's not an if. It's definitely a when. Make sure you have a backup. We like 2 backups. Everybody should have 2 backups, 2 different types of backups. And, you'll be all right.
Well, speaking of backups, like I've always liked to kind of back things up on an external drive.
Right.
But some of my friends said, why do it on that? Why not just do it on a cloud drive?
I can come up with a bunch of reasons to not do it on the cloud. But The cloud is fine also, but you should also have a local.
Like personally, I think, can't cloud drives be hacked just as much as
they can
everything else?
They can, but generally backup formats that are used nobody wants to download a 300 gigabyte file to find out they can't get into it because it's password protected. So the chances of somebody hacking a cloud backup are really low. So I would say go ahead and do a cloud backup of some type. It's not a bad idea. But also have a local.
Yeah, the only advantage I see is if I'm traveling around and for whatever reason I need to find.
Well, that's not
my backup.
That's not the best
the only advantage
reason.
I see. Other than that, the way I see it, I pay once and I can use it multiple times or forever.
Well, I'll tell you, I have some experience with one of the reasons that you'd want an offsite backup. Thieves. Somebody wants to smash in your window and go steal stuff. They're probably going to take your external hard drive too. Yeah. So one of the very useful reasons for doing cloud backup is if your house burns down or somebody breaks in and steals all your stuff, that you still have your data. So there is a useful reason to have one. Now, one of the downsides is that many people have bandwidth caps. So, if you have a humongous backup, you're going to run out of bandwidth for the month. So, of course, use sparingly and intelligently, but you should have at least 2 backups. So one local, some type of an external hard drive, one that you maybe take with you or something like that, and some type of either cloud backup or an offsite of some type.
Okay. And by offsite, you mean like local company offsite? Or
it doesn't even have to be a company. Let's say you like the idea of doing those external hard drives. Get 2 of them. Make 2 backups and keep one of them outside of your home.
Yeah. Okay. Like say in a brother's house or maybe a neighbor's house or something like that.
Sure. Or a stranger's house.
Only if I trust them. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just kidding about the stranger's house. Yeah.
I can just see my neighbor getting really curious. I wonder what he really has on there.
Excuse me, neighbor. Hold this. Don't look at it. No, make sure you have one somewhere, even if it's just in the trunk of your car, right? Just something that is not in your home.
Yeah, I've often wondered about that with the amount of heat that we have. Do any USB drives get affected by the heat?
Generally not. So if it's off, like it's just sitting there it's sitting there in the trunk and it's not plugged in or running, doing anything, it can take a lot of heat without damaging it.
Okay, so it's not like the old the old floppy disk that we used to have.
No, it's a little bit different.
You left them in the heat for a while, you came back, and they were like work forever.
Right. Well, we're out of time, Ray. I got to take a break here. Thanks for the call. I
appreciate it.
I appreciate it. This is the Computer Guru Show. Give us a call, 790-2040. We'll be right back.
Computer troubles? Need some advice? Call in now. Mike Swanson will be back after these messages. The Computer Guru Show, AM 1030, KVOY, The Voice.
I'm nerdy in the extreme and whiter than sour cream. I was in AV club and glee club and even the chess team. Only question I ever thought was hard, what do I like, Kirk or do I like Picard? Spend every weekend at the Renaissance Fair, got my name on my underwear. They see me stroll.
Welcome back to the Computer Guru Show. Tom's giving me a look. He's giving me the judgmental look this time.
Well, I was waiting for the girl to come on and say, welcome back.
Nope.
Mike's here waiting to help you with your computer problems.
There are no girls that interrupt Weird Al.
That's right.
That's just how it
Okay.
is.
I saw Weird Al on something that he did, I think, in 2015 or 2014. He didn't have a gray hair showing. That guy has got to be gray by now.
He's got a few. He's got a few going on. More at the roots than anything else.
It turns out that if you're just silly and fun, you live longer, apparently.
Yeah, go figure. I get to see him.
Although that's not true. I read a study that said that people who complain a lot live longer.
Why?
Apparently because they complain a lot.
So you're living to what, 150, 200?
How much do I complain in my real life? Almost never.
Yeah, not really. It's more on the show than anything else.
Right. Most of my complaining, in fact, most of the speaking I do in a
Is
week
here.
happens right here. I am generally not interested in speaking. And I don't complain about stuff generally. Unless you're an employee, then, yeah. I complain a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit. Like, why aren't you
That's why I
doing
don't work there
Why
now.
aren't you doing your job? Do your job. It's important.
That's kind of like what Windows 10 is doing lately. I've noticed these little pop-up windows that it's been throwing up every now and then. They're getting bigger, and it's like headline news.
Yep.
Update to Windows 10 now.
So the next one is full screen, by the way.
I would imagine.
All right, so Microsoft, for the next 2 weeks, is going to be pushing a full screen. Excuse me, pardon the interrupt. However, you should probably upgrade while you still can for free. Now, in response to Microsoft getting all kinds of grief and a lawsuit about the particular upgrade window, you will now have the option to upgrade now, upgrade later, or never upgrade, and it just goes away. So, if you have the most current updates, you will get one more that will ask you to please upgrade. And if you tell it not to, it will just leave you alone. However, most people that don't have AMD processors should upgrade.
That don't have an AMD. I would.
Yeah, I feel about the AMD processors.
You know what? I wasn't sure about Windows 10 at first. I love Windows 10. Not gonna lie.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're a big fan of it.
I am.
I am not, for a couple of little things. Don't get me wrong.
Well, I'm more user intensive.
Windows 10 thing is okay. But there are a couple of things that just bother me.
Such as?
I use Hangouts extensively throughout the day.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's how we communicate at the office. Right? There's different little chats for different groups of people at the office. And since Windows 10, especially on my desktop machine, the whole Hangouts experience is broken.
I hate Hangouts anyway. I'm not a fan. I like Discord or
It
Skype.
randomly rearranges my desktop icons across the 3 monitors. Yeah, the little things that are bothering me. Overall, it's okay.
Maybe you should stop using Hangouts. I'm just saying.
No, my icons. That has nothing to do with Hangouts.
That's true. I don't know.
Let's talk to Phil, because Phil says he has an observation about living longer. Hello, Phil.
Hey, this is Phil from the Garden Show on Sundays.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good. My brother, who has a restaurant in town called Jethro's Cafe, about a mile from where you guys are on Broadway, he has a big poster on the wall. It's got a couple of old gentlemen standing there arguing. It says, "The more you argue, the longer God makes you live." It's a pretty good poster.
That is pretty good.
They have pretty amazing cinnamon rolls at Jethro's.
I've never been there.
I think they're the hugest one you could ever buy, and they are good. Everything there is good.
I do like the Jethro's.
I'm gonna have
I mean,
to go
it's
check
a
it
free
out.
it's a free plug for Jethro's, but man, that's
Have you
pretty
seen
good food.
the poster there on the side of the wall?
I've been in there a bunch of times. I don't know that one stood out to me.
It was as you walk in where the cashier is, and it's on the right side right there. And next time you come in, you just ask him to tell you. Anyway, I got to run right now. Thanks for letting me on.
No
Thanks,
problem.
Phil.
Thanks.
Yeah, they've got interesting airbrush art all over the walls.
I'm gonna have to check this place out.
It's pretty cool. Then they got
Jethro's?
Jethro's.
Okay.
Jethro's Cafe. Yeah. All right, we gotta do the top of the hour break. So continue to listen to the Computer Guru Show and give us a call at 790-2040. We'll be right back.
Woo.
We're gonna do sponsor messages after the break because we're out of time. So we'll be right back.
From my heart and from my hand, why don't people understand my intention?
Computer running slow? I'm waiting. Caught a virus? Does your computer seem to have a life of its own?
Malfunction. Need input.
The Computer Guru is here.
Thank God you're here.
Call in now.
Now it's Mike Swanson, your Computer Guru.
Welcome back to the Computer Guru Show. My name is Mike, here to deal with your technology needs and treat you like a person in the process. And we have a different board op now.
Yay!
It's musical chairs today, and I lost.
It's like a throwback Thursday.
You lost.
But it's Saturday.
Poor Harry has to work the Guru Show.
Wow! And I liked you.
I know. I learned something. I learn something new every day. Well, every week actually.
All right. Well, give us a call 790-2040 if you want to be part of the show. Let's get our sponsor message out of the way because we missed him at the end of the. We ran out of time because I rambled on about killer shopping carts.
Wow. What a concept.
But we want to thank Perfection Auto Works for supporting the show.
Mm-hmm.
They very much help us out each month with paying the bills. And you can too. You can go over to patreon.com/Guru Show. That's Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
And you can donate as little as $1 a month because you should give us $1. I mean, I don't want to be overly pushy, but I imagine that you do learn something by listening to the show. We can help you out. It's free tech support, effectively.
And $1 a month subscription, basically.
Yeah, $1 a month. It's not
pretty
bad.
Good for entertainment.
I think that'll do. Patreon.com/Guru Show. You can also go to GuruShow.com and click on all the various links there. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel, which, by the way, we're giving away a virtual reality headset.
Yes.
In the upcoming weeks. And
not going to lie, I'm kind of mad.
And the only way that you can take advantage of this giveaway is by clicking on go to gurushow.com and get the details there.
And not being part of the show.
Right, and you can't win.
I know.
But you can subscribe to the YouTube page, like our Facebook page, and every time that you do one of those things, you get an opportunity to win a virtual reality headset. We're also going to have them on the show in the upcoming weeks to talk about it and their platform. It's a pretty cool setup. Rob's been playing around with it quite a bit. And
of course he has.
And impressing everyone at the shop.
Not sharing.
I'm sure Rob
I'm lying.
Share.
I've not been down there, so it's kind of my fault.
So yeah, thanks for helping out. Also, if you want to make Tara say pretty much anything that you want, subscriptions of $40 a month or more give you the opportunity to have Tara basically say anything that's radio friendly. Because we can't have an FCC violation.
No.
But one of the people doing that,
Desert Pro Commercial Cleaning LLC, the best Tucson janitorial services, and you can find them at TucsonDesertPro.com.
That's right, and they do a good job. They clean up the East Side office. If you want to check out how clean they make things,
it is clean.
Go over to 64 North Harrison.
Sparkly.
Check it out. It's all sparkly. Yes, it is.
I just made you say sparkly. I'm so proud of myself right now.
It's lovely. It's super sparkly.
It's nice.
It's fabulous. Let's go ahead. Let's take a call here. Let's talk to JB. Hello.
Hey, thanks for taking the call.
My pleasure.
I have a MacBook, and one of the things I want to do is to be able to write and incorporate photos within the text. And for some reason, I have not been able to upload pages every time I go up to the Apple store. I think my MacBook's about 4 years old. Just changed out the operating system, probably a year and a half or so ago. And everything seems to be working fine, but just have never been able to get pages installed. And so it's sort of a two-parter, how to accomplish that, or is there a way to effectively use Microsoft Word where I can do the same thing?
Okay, so let's deal with both of those. Yes, you can put Word on. That's the easy one, just to get that one out of the way. There is Word for Mac, and it works pretty well. But tell me about your Pages thing, because generally I don't see this unless you have an old version of Pages on there that was, like, maybe came with the operating system.
No, I've never actually had it. I've heard about it, and I've been encouraged to install it. And every time I go up to the store try to install it, it just won't work.
And do you get an
I've
error?
tried it twice. Pardon me?
Do you get an error of some type?
I'm not sure exactly where the problem is, but there's just no way that I've been able to get past it, and the people there haven't really been able to explain why.
Well, like I said, every time that I've seen this is because of some portion of an older version of Pages on the machine. And some installs, some of the older installs, how old is it? You say 4 years old?
Yeah, roughly.
Okay, so some of the older installations of Mac OS came with Pages.
Oh, is that right?
And if it has that old one on there, it's first of all, too old to run if you've upgraded the operating system and gotten all your updates. So it won't function, and then you can't install the new one unless you go in there and manually remove the old one. So I would look in your applications folder just to make sure that you don't have pages in
Right. Well, I think I probably did that with somebody there kind of walking through first.
Mm-hmm.
But then, then something you mentioned earlier, can I do the same thing with Word? Presuming I can find some kind of an instruction manual or something to guide me, because I wouldn't know where to look.
Well, the easiest place to look if you want to put Word on there is office.microsoft.com.
Okay.
And you can download Office there, and it'll work great.
All right. Well, hey, thanks a lot.
I appreciate the call. Yeah, I use Office on my computer, on my Mac, the one that I have here even.
I use Open Office.
Right. Open Office is also an option if you didn't want to pay for it, right? You could also use LibreOffice, which I kind of like. It's
Never heard of
similar
that
to
one.
Open Office, but I like the feel of it better.
I like Open Office because it's a community that understands what you want in your text development and whatnot, and does it.
Right.
And it's all the source code is there.
Right. So it's an open source platform, and it's the same as LibreOffice. They're
Okay.
both open source platforms. They're both community supported. They are both designed to replace Office, just because, people have the anti-Microsoft mentality, and they're like, we're going to our own sandbox and taking our toys with us.
I used Open Office for a while,
Right.
but then I decided to go ahead and pay for the real Office.
Right. There's several of them out there. There's Open Office, LibreOffice, Star Office. What else is there? There's a couple of more out there.
I liked it.
But those are the big ones, and you can try any of those, and they cost you nothing. But if you want, a lot of people these days, we're just telling them, go ahead and get the 365 subscription.
Yeah.
Pay the $100 a year for Office, and you can put it on 5 computers. Mac, PC, doesn't matter. And if you do that, you also can put it on all of your mobile devices. So your phones, your tablets of any variation. You can have a compatible system across all the platforms.
It's very nice, actually.
So there's an option there. You can go to office.microsoft.com and check that out. Speaking of Macs, though.
Speaking of Macs.
Yeah, seeing he called, right? Let me pull up that particular article because I thought that was interesting.
Oh, that one, yes.
Yeah, new Mac
That
malware
article.
discovered in the wild and installing backdoors in people's computers, which is
no bueno.
It is no bueno.
It's not good.
But it's whatever.
Whatevs.
Just kidding. It happens all the time with the PC machines. Actually, less often than you would think. But the fact that this particular piece of software can infect your machine and install a backdoor that's new for the Mac world.
Yeah. Well, the PC users have been telling them, prepare. You will be attacked too.
Right. It's called backdoor.mac.eleanor.
Eleanor. They gave it an elegant name at least.
Yes, and it was discovered by Bitdefender, which is the antivirus that we are recommending as the freebie right now at the office.
Yeah, we used it as a useful utility last week.
Yep, and installs a backdoor in Macs that allows full access to the system, including the user's data and control of their webcam.
So go ahead and put a little Post-it on your webcam.
Right, you can turn on the webcam without the light. Isn't that fancy?
Ooh. Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah,
that is scary. Yeah.
Scary.
That's what some of my family members do. They actually put Post-it on top of the webcam.
Yeah, a lot of people cover up the webcam, and I don't blame them.
Yeah.
I don't do it just because I don't care. But
all they're going to see is my kids running around.
I have a personality defect, whereas there's a whole lot of things I just don't care about. And it reflects it in the way that, I don't cover up the webcam because I don't care. Whatever.
Or give a damn.
I'm not
busted.
home anyway. So what are they going to do? But, look at Mike's empty house. Just nothing there to see.
Because he's working.
That's right, because
all day.
Mike never comes home.
18-hour shifts.
I would be bored if I went home. I just wouldn't know what to do with myself.
You could play Rocket League with us.
Anyway, the malware installs itself or is disguised as an easy document converter. It's easydocconverter.app. And it's a fake converter application because they know that people are always searching for ways to convert applications and documents.
Yeah.
Like the previous caller
I've been there.
would probably want to convert his documents from Pages to Word or something along those lines.
I've been there a couple times.
Yeah,
and
don't do that.
Got myself in trouble.
And that goes for PCs too. Do not download any software for converting anything to anything, right? Just don't.
Yeah,
you can call me.
Yeah, don't.
You can call us. 5-minute phone calls, by the way, 5 minutes or less at the shop are free. Doesn't matter what it is. You can just call up and be like, I've got a question, and it's going to take less than 5 minutes, and we're going to be like, we'll do that for nothing, and we will give you the right answer rather than you going out and Googling yourself into a virus.
I've done that so many times.
Don't do it.
I've learned my lessons well, though.
Anyway, it allows people to take control of the machine. It connects itself to a remote command and control center. So we have effectively our first Mac botnet.
Dun, dun, dun.
And it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be huge. Hopefully it's not going to be huge. Let's not.
No. All right. On that note, let's take some phone calls. Let's talk to Charlie. Hello, Charlie. How are you?
Hey, good afternoon. Hi, y'all.
Hello.
Okay, I have a question or two. It involves a program I really, really enjoy. It's called VLC.
Right, VLC Media Player.
Yes, that's the one. I love it. Works great on my Windows 7's box. My wife, I installed it on her Windows 10 box.
Right.
It's lost all kinds of functionality. Does that sound right?
No.
Okay.
So what kind of functionality are we talking about?
Well, okay, the features I really like is when you go in, you click on your playlist, and you get that, and you can go down and get all these radio tuner channels on the internet.
Right.
On Windows 7. I can't find that on Windows 10. Does it live there too?
Did you get the right VLC player?
Oh, it's the one. It says it's the VLC store, or it comes off of a store app or something like that.
Yeah, you don't want the app version. You want the real program version.
So maybe that's the only problem. That's the reason I haven't switched my Windows 7 box. It's like, it's got to work just like it did in 7, or I ain't touching it.
Okay, so if you go the app version, right, the one that is designed for the touch version, if you get it from the Microsoft Store, is not the same thing as the one that you install for the computer.
Oh.
So you've got a different version.
Okay.
So uninstall that one. Get the real version from the VLC website, and you'll be good to go.
Okay, I'll go give that a try.
Yep, that'll give you your functionality back.
Yay! Yay! Okay, I'm going to go Google me a virus. Bye-bye.
Should we tell him which website to go to? Hold on, let me look up which website he should go to. Actually, we'll say that on the air here as Carl is asking his question. Hello, Carl. How are you doing today?
Yes, I'm doing fine, and I've got an iPad, and I use the notes function to stash a bunch of addresses and comments and account information and what have you. And I can't find a search function in it. Apparently, there isn't. Do you have any apps you can recommend that would give me that? Or
on an iPad?
On an iPad, yes.
Yeah, no.
Okay, well, that's a simple answer.
Yeah, there is no indexing software for the iPad. However, you can do a couple of different things. You want to be able to do the search on the iPad, though, I imagine. On the iPad, and I'm only interested in searching within the individual notes files that I've got. Let's see.
Linux, they used to have that grep function, and I'm looking for something that's equivalent.
I'm going to have to test this one. I have an idea that might work, but I don't want to give it to you and be wrong. So I'm going to test it this week. And if you call me down at the shop or you listen in next week, I'll give you an answer.
Or email.
Okay.
Yeah, or you can email me, radio@azcomputerguru.com.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
All right, thanks for the call, Carl. And by the way, if you want to download the VLC player, videoland.org.
There you go.
That way you don't Google yourself an infection.
Yeah, don't do that.
So, yeah, videoland.org. And you can get the VLC player there. VLC player is nice, by the way, because it plays everything. Basically, no need to convert any type of video and Google yourself an infection. You just give VLC and you can just play whatever you want, unless you get the touchscreen version, which apparently doesn't do anything.
Well, understandable.
Yeah, because touch.
Yeah.
Let's take a break, Harry. Let's do that. We're gonna take a break. We'll be right back. Give us a call 790-2040.
Your computer guru, Mike Swanson, is here to help you tame that beast of a machine. Join the chat right now at gurushow.com or call in. This is the Computer Guru Show on KVOY, The Voice.
I'm nerdy in the extreme and whiter than sour cream. I was in AV club and glee club and even the chess team. Only question I ever thought was hard, what do I like, Kirk, or do I like Picard? Spend every weekend at the Renaissance Fair, got my name on my underwear. They see me strolling, they laughing and rolling their eyes cause I'm so white and nerdy. Just because I'm white and nerdy. Just because I'm white and nerdy.
All right, welcome back to the Computer Guru Show.
I was just getting into the jams, man.
I love Weird Al. You don't even know.
790-2040 if you want to be a part of the show. Welcome back to the Computer Guru Show. It's what we do here is we fix things.
And dance to Weird Al.
And you guys dance to Weird Al?
You guys.
You guys. You people.
What do you mean, you people?
So NASA, let's talk about hacks.
Okay.
Let's talk a little bit of hacking.
There's
that's
a
been
lot
going
of
on only a little bit this week.
Well, I tried to leave some out.
So somebody hacked the Twitter account for NASA's Kepler telescope.
Yeah.
And apparently there's a bunch of naked people in space. Because the Twitter account started posting not safe for work images to the Twitter account. Yeah.
Good job. Slow clap.
Yeah.
Naked space.
Let's just say it was searching for black holes and found some. It
Oh.
was just no good.
Wah, wah, wah.
Oh, man. It was. Anyway, there's been a lot of hacking. And one of the ones I want to bring up, and it's something that I don't have direct experience with because I have a real phone provider. However, T-Mobile has a serious flaw in the way that it deals with security.
Okay.
And a lot of people, especially like these big YouTubers, have. Do you remember that we talked about the Black Lives Movement leader?
Yes.
Getting his account hacked.
Yes.
And it turns out this is not just a one-off. There are lots of people that are able to pretend being
famous people.
T-Mobile.
Yeah.
And they'll call somebody. And they'll be like, hey, we're T-Mobile, and we want to make sure that your account is safe, so let's go ahead and set up a password. And then they get that password. They call T-Mobile. They tell T-Mobile that they're you. They get your SIM card and say, well, we need to switch this to a different phone. And then suddenly all of your phone traffic, text messages, phone calls, all of that stuff are diverted to a different phone, which is not you. And then they can then log into any of your accounts because they have access to the SMS authentication messages. T-Mobile's got to do something about this. They need to make sure that they have some sort of positive verification of who you are. And it turns out that all of the cell phone companies are pretty lax about this.
Right.
Now, one of the upsides to the Verizon version of this is that if you first of all, it's very hard to get a hold of a Verizon SIM card. They'll give you one, but they'll put it in your phone for you. And if you deviate at all from the programming that's on that SIM card, let's say that you then later call up and say, well, I want to switch this SIM card to a different phone number, it invalidates the card.
Yeah.
So it just kills that card. It's dead. And that you don't have the option to switch phones with the 4G cards. You can't. So that's one area where Verizon has a bit of a security advantage over T-Mobile in this, whereas in T-Mobile you can just switch SIM cards all you want and clone phones.
Yeah.
And it's just it's something that T-Mobile needs to deal with. So if you have T-Mobile and you're concerned about two-party or second-party authentication, right, the two-step authentication, which is really important to have, like if you log into your bank or your YouTube account or your Google accounts, it will force you to have a second form of authentication to say, okay, well, you say you're this person, you put in the right password, so now let's send you a text message or an email to verify that you are exactly that person. This thing with T-Mobile allows you to prevent or to get around that.
Yeah.
And someone else can claim your identity online anyway, and get into your important accounts, specifically banking or other, like a Gmail account or something like that. So as usual, the weakest link in this particular thing is people, because you are the weakest link.
Goodbye.
As a human, you know, just you got to be smarter. And I think that T-Mobile really needs to deal with this. I don't think they realize how big of a deal it is.
I don't even think it's just a T-Mobile problem, though. For instance, last night I upgraded my cable, my internet. They did it wrong, so I needed to talk to somebody. I talked on the chat. They're like, oh, we see that you're already logged into your account, so no need for verification. I'm like, wait a minute, but what if somebody just logged into my account already? And she's like, well, what's your email? I'm like, it's on the account, but I'll tell you what it is. Anybody, if they had my password to log in, they could have changed, which I did. I had changed a whole bunch of stuff and then talked to her. So that kind of worried me last night. I'm like,
that's
what
Comcast,
do you mean no
right?
need? Yeah. Like, why? What do you mean no need for verification since I'm logged in? I could be anybody logged in.
That's interesting because I have Comcast at my house, right, or the offices are both Cox. And one of the most irritating things about Comcast is they won't even talk to me unless I have like this ridiculously long account number that I have to type in every time.
I didn't have to do any of it.
And maybe it's because it's a commercial account, but
maybe, yeah.
Holy moly, it irritates me. I'm like, you can't authenticate me some other way, and they're like, no.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it might be commercial. I don't know, but it worried me when she's like, "Oh, no need for verification since you're logged in." I'm like, but I could be anybody logged in right now. It may not be me. It is me.
There needs to be a stronger. People need to have a stronger view of security, and they need to take it seriously. Now, the idea of not taking security seriously is one of those things that sort of bothers me. It is my job, right, to make sure that people's information is safe, to make sure that the interactions with the internet and the outside world are safe. It's one of the things that I do. And just because we have to bring it up, and generally we try not to get into politics on the show because it's not my thing. Right?
Yeah.
Remember my personality defect where I don't care?
Yeah. Well, I don't like to offend people. That's my thing.
But there seems to be an issue with the idea of security in the government lately, and then how it should be treated. And there is, in my opinion, a bit of a classing problem where IT professionals can end up in jail for not properly securing things. However, people that we feel are obviously there are people that are above that system and have the ability to make up their own rules when it comes to security. Yeah. And so I'm a little irritated with that at the moment.
I think a lot of people are right now.
It's troublesome to me just because you've got someone who is rather famous when it comes to the political world that for whatever reason is given a pass on how they treat top secret and secret data. And that particular system was hacked, and even though they did not find any direct evidence of a hack, they couldn't confirm nor deny, so to speak. We know that data is out there, so it must have been hacked.
Right.
And there's not so much as a slap on the wrist. However, you have another individual who is famous in the IT world now that was basically saying, hey, look, your government is doing unconstitutional things, and they have to live and hide in Russia. So there's a bit of a dichotomy there.
Yeah.
It's a class disparity thing going on here. You have also recently a naval individual who took a picture of a submarine and sent it to himself, and sentenced to 4 years for that.
Yep.
But send or receive and subsequently delete thousands of secret or important documents and whatever. So
yeah, if I would have done that 6 years ago,
right,
you would not know me.
Throwing you in a hole.
I would not be here.
All right, so there's a certain amount of, we need to apply rules, especially digital rules, equally across the board. There seems to be this idea that that you can do things based on location or your class or
Money.
whatever. And we talk about the internet a lot when it comes to security and say there are no borders. There is no distance, and there is no class on the internet. It's just you are ones and zeros.
Yeah.
And there is no difference between who you are, so you should be treated exactly the same way. It was the same argument we had for net neutrality. There was lots of back and forth, so to speak, about the importance of treating all data the same way, and people need to be treated the same way also. If you act like an idiot online, then you should
Be treated like an idiot.
be treated like an idiot. Now, if you're going to decide that something is unimportant, or less important for one person, it should be less important for everyone else also. And I'm not really going to weigh in a whole lot on the whole traitor versus hero when it comes to Snowden.
Right.
But I will say at least somebody was willing to put the information out there that our government was not adhering to the rules when it comes to the Constitution. And I applaud that. All right. I at least have to say that it's out there. I just don't like the idea that people can be treated so very differently just because they happen to be famous.
Welcome to America.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat posted a picture that says, no common sense here. Not allowed to have that. Oh, let's see. What's Mike about? Let's talk to Mike, I guess. Hey, Mike, how are you?
Hey, good morning, guys. Or I should say good afternoon. Great show as always.
Hello, Mr. PerfectionAutoWorks.com.
Yes, sir. Glad to be a part of the program. Hey, I've got a new computer that I've put together with a whole bunch of stuff that I've had laying around, and it's actually a pretty cool computer. And I want to put a picture program. My old computer had Picasa, and it's a Google product, and I know it's free, and I know it snoops, and I don't like that part. So can you tell me, is it safe? Is it a program that you recommend, or is there some other picture program that's free that will do pretty much what Picasa does without... there are pictures on there that I thought I had removed, and it came up in Windows 10. I couldn't believe it. So obviously it's snooping.
It's not necessarily snooping, but all right. So
maybe it archives them someplace that you don't know about, and then all of a sudden, there they are. We took a trip to Las Vegas, and I had taken a lot of pictures of the airport and all this stuff, and I deleted them, and then there they are again.
All right. So you may have deleted them off of the device, but Picasa links your Google Plus account to your Picasa. Wow, to your Picasa account.
Oh, okay.
So they still exist on your Google Plus page. So if you don't delete them there, then...
But I've never uploaded any pictures ever.
You have, you just don't know it.
Oh, see, that's what I'm talking about.
It's like a backup.
Right. So one of the features that Android phones had for a while is that if you had a Google account attached to it, it automatically backed up your pictures to your Google account. And it was on for a little while by default, and I think it's off by default now.
I believe so. You have to turn it on now.
But for a while there, it was a default option. It was just on as soon as you installed it on your phone. And so that's something that you can look into, and it's probably off now. I imagine that those pictures that you saw when you reinstalled Picasa were older pictures?
Yes, ancient.
Right. So that was during the time that was on by default on your phone. So if you go to plus.google.com and sign in with the same account that you use on your phone, there's a photos section there. We'll have all of your uploaded photos from your phone, and you can delete them there, which will make them go away.
So even though I've not physically uploaded them myself, it uploads them. So every time you take a picture on your phone, it's put into the cloud, I guess?
Previously, yes. Yeah, that's an old feature that is not on anymore by default.
You know what totally is screwed about that is that if you don't know it, it sounds like they're spying on you, and you just don't know it.
Well, your phone did tell you. All the phones at one point said, "Hey, guess what? We're uploading your pictures as a backup to your Google Plus account."
It was probably when you first got your phone.
Right, and so there was a mention of that, but then
I'm sure, but it was in very small print.
Yeah.
So anyway, go to plus.google.com, delete those pictures. Picasa is a good program, and as long as your phone isn't automatically uploaded, then you don't have to worry about that.
Okay, so you do recommend that because I do like it. It just seems like it's overbearing at times. It will snag stuff from your desktop. If you take a picture of a car, for example, and it's sitting there, you open up Picasso, you'll see it all of a sudden extracting it, putting it into a file.
There are a bunch of options, preferences inside the Picasa app where you can tell it where to look for pictures and what pictures are included in libraries. And you can narrow that down to any folders that you want so that you don't have to worry about it doing system-wide imports.
Okay, good. All right, well, it sounds like you're giving it the thumbs up. You know, when it comes to the Google, this is part of Google, correct?
It is. It's one of the offshoot projects.
Right. Well, the evil people at Google, I mean, they spy on you like crazy. So I've always heard stay away from anything that's Google made, but sounds like you're giving it a thumbs up.
Yeah, and I think that the reports of Google spying on you are slightly overblown. Facebook collects more information from you than Google does. So,
not for me though. Never had a Facebook and won't ever.
And you have the option in all Google products to opt out. So there's a whole lot of options there. Just look through the preferences and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Very good. Thank you for the information. I appreciate your show.
All right, appreciate the show or the call, Mike. So what time is it? Is it break time yet?
Yeah,
I guess it is. All right, let's do another break. We'll be right back.
Computer troubles? Need some advice? Call in now. Mike Swanson will be back after these messages. The Computer Guru Show, AM 1030, KVOY, The Voice.
Welcome back to the show. So let's talk about another hack.
Another hack. People getting hacked left
Where's
and right.
the hacks?
Hide your kids.
Okay, so Wendy's says over 1,000 locations were affected by a credit card breach.
Dun, dun, dun.
None of them in Tucson that we can tell.
Not that we're in the drop-down list.
Right.
Because I looked.
But some in Phoenix.
Yeah.
So if you've been to Wendy's in Phoenix.
I think in Yuma.
Actually, we're going to put a link to this in the show notes. So you'll have the opportunity to find out if one of the stores that you go to maybe is affected and what Wendy's says that you should do about it. Basically, they managed to get some malware in one of their credit card processing systems. Mm-hmm. This is why you have separate networks, people. Oh, why does nobody listen to me?
I don't know. They should.
Nobody listens.
I've learned
I should
so
put on
much.
a radio show or something and tell people. Your credit card process.
Careful, you'll have shopping carts following you.
That's right. If you have credit card processing, it should be on its own network.
Yeah.
That's right. This is part of PCI compliance. If you don't have a separate network, you got a problem. If you're a business and you need a PCI compliance check, you should give Computer Guru a call. I'll come down there for free and tell you if you're doing it wrong. If you're doing it wrong, then I'll charge you money.
There you go.
To fix it.
Yeah.
All right. Not just to tell you.
No.
It'd be like, that'll be $50. You're doing it wrong. No. Anyway, basically, Wendy's violated the rule, which is your credit card processing needs to happen on a separate network.
Yep.
And effectively gave up credit card information from 1,000 locations for about a year.
Yeah.
And so lots of Wendy's people got extra cheese with their burgers. Way too much coffee today. Holy moly.
Or not enough.
So, yeah, but this is just sort of a regular trend that's going on these days.
There is a list of affected locations, so.
Right. And they'll be in the notes. But, just like the credit card skimmers that you find at gas stations, these new super fancy wireless didn't have to open the box type ones.
Yeah.
Credit card information is important. And if you're wondering why you have a credit card now with a chip in it, this is precisely why.
They haven't sent me one of those yet.
What?
Mine's old.
I have one. I just don't use it.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, the systems that we have here are remarkably inefficient when it comes to those chips. It is so slow. It is really... As an example, you know how I love the QT, the Quick Trip?
Yeah, because they're awesome.
In compared to, like, Circle K?
Yeah.
Right. And there's a bunch of reasons for it. Not only is it because Circle K hires homeless people, but...
Wow!
I feel like the it's one of those things. Just like every Circle K I go to, I'm harassed in the parking lot about do I have any extra change, and then at half the Circle K's I go to, the guy behind the counter looks like he's going to ask me for change too, other than paying for my stuff.
Wow.
But at QT they're quick, really fast
and clean.
Walk in, pay for your stuff, leave. And now that they've switched over to this whole chip thing. The rules are that they're not supposed to touch your card anymore. So it makes the whole process slower.
Yep.
I hate inefficiency.
Yep.
Grr.
And you just, everybody get one of those slap it next to the thing.
No, those are dangerous too.
Yeah.
The
They need
touchless
to fix
payment.
them.
That's why I have all of my card information stored in my duct tape wallet.
We just all need a UPC code tattooed on our wrist.
No,
you know what? Scan them.
You know what we should do is go back to cash.
Yeah, well.
There you go.
I lose cash. So
I like the analog world. I'm a big fan of analog. Hey, how are you going to... You're not going to hack cash. That's just not how that's going to work.
I've lost it, though.
You
I lost
it?
$180 out of my pocket once.
I'll tell you a story during the break about how I lost money once. Let's go ahead and take another break just because I screwed up the clock. So I had to make a short segment. Sorry. I'll be right back.
Your computer guru, Mike Swanson, is here to help you tame that beast of a machine. Join the chat right now at gurushow.com or call in. This is the Computer Guru Show on KVOY, The Voice.
Welcome back to the Computer Guru Show. Chara's drumming away over here. 790-2040 if you want to be part of the show.
I like music, okay?
I guess. Let's go ahead and talk to John. Hello, John. How are you today? John's
Good.
not there.
It's me again. I talked to you earlier, but I forgot a question.
Okay, go for it.
I've got a laptop with Windows 7, and about every time I turn it on, I get this little pop-up window saying, hey, upgrade to Windows 10 for free.
Yep.
Click here.
Right.
Is that a good idea?
What kind of machine do you have?
It's a Hewlett-Packard.
An HP. How old is it?
Probably 6 years.
And what
it's
kind of...
It's 64-bit. It's a 3-core. It'll handle.
It's a
lot.
tri-core. So it's an AMD.
Yes.
Yeah. No. You stay in Windows 7.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you have the option here. If you think the machine's got enough horsepower to go for it, most AMDs, in my opinion, aren't powerful enough to do it. The older AMDs. The tri-cores weren't bad, though, so, I mean, you're kind of in a gray area, and it's up to you whether or not you really want to upgrade. However, you should know that Microsoft is not kidding around with this whole you need to upgrade because, one, there's a giant security flaw in Windows 7, which is they're trying to get everybody out of, but secondly, they're trying to push everybody into a single platform. So you're going to find yourself having a less than pleasant user experience if you stay in Windows 7.
Right. Well, I want to keep it for a long time, so.
Yeah, so you might want to either stay in 7 and be happy with the consequences, or go ahead and do the upgrade.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Sorry I couldn't give you a more concise answer on that, John.
Well, no, that tells me exactly what I wanted to know.
All right.
It's not going to hurt anything if I go ahead and get 10.
Generally not.
I'm not exposing myself to the almighty Intel or whoever it is, Windows.
The almighty
Microsoft.
Microsoft.
There are some security concerns as far as privacy concerns, but there's a fancy little utility after you go ahead and upgrade to 10. There's this nice little utility you can run that turns all of that stuff off.
Oh, cool.
So we'll post it on Facebook so you can get to it.
Great. Well, I don't do Facebook.
You'll have to find somebody who does.
I'm analog. Like your cash.
Yeah, there you go. Appreciate it. And the sad part is that the reason that we do a lot of stuff on Facebook is for the reason of tracking purposes. Right?
Yeah.
It's because I use that as an advertising platform, so I want to know how effective is this platform. You know, and it's a quick way to get things out to people without me having to do anything super official. And it's a sad state of affairs, but that's the way it is. But, you know, if you want to win the virtual reality headset.
I want it and I can't win it. I'm mad. This is as mad as I get.
Look at how angry she is.
Fired up.
That's such good radio.
Stop throwing things at me.
Oh, man. What?
Hulk smash. Yeah. That's about it. I want the Merge VR. It looks cool.
It is pretty cool.
Rob was talking about it.
And you'll never know.
Like, I want it. Oh, wow. Love you too, Mike.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. So let's talk about Computer Guru for a second.
Just a second.
It's my show. So
You're done.
I get to do what I want, right?
Okay.
But, you know, Computer Guru is the company that I own that sort of makes this radio show possible. And so we appreciate if you give us the opportunity to help you out. Mm-hmm. Specifically, we're looking for small to medium business customers because they're super helpful.
Yes.
And it's sort of the stuff that I do. And nobody wants a bored mic. Believe me, the employees don't want a bored mic.
No.
Because then I start hanging out at the office, and then I start yelling at people.
And we're like, why are you here?
And I'm like, why isn't this machine done yet?
Don't you have work to do?
And they're like, it just showed up 5 minutes ago. And I'm like, I don't care. It should be done already. Me being an overbearing boss with too much caffeine in my system. So if you want to save my employees from me, you should call Computer Guru and schedule an appointment and come down there and take a look at your business system. Save you some money, make things run smoother. Everything is lovely. Everybody's happy, especially my employees. And you.
Woo woo.
And me. Everybody's happy. This is a win-win-win. So give us a call down at the shop at 304-8300 to get on the schedule. Consultations are free. It will cost you nothing. And also, the other thing that we're pushing this week is that 4th of July through now, I've been offering 10% off. As a happy Independence Week.
Woot woot.
I'm going to do that for another week. All you got to do is mention the ad. Just say, hey, Mike says I get 10% off. And guess what happens? You get 10% off.
That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah. All you got to do is say Mike said so. Believe me. Everybody does that anyway. There's this game at the office of how many people call and say that they know me. Mm-hmm. Right? They're like, oh, yeah, I know Mike. And most of them are like, I don't know that person. I don't know who that is. But so it's an interesting game. So if you call in and say that you know me, you get 10% off. So those will be fun for the guys at the office. Anyway, come visit us down at the shop at 510 East Fort Lowell or at 64 North Harrison or call the office.
Do you get 20% off if you say I know him and Mike said so?
Nope. That's not how that works.
It caps at 10.
Now, the other thing that we're pushing this week is the Express websites. And, there's lots of businesses out there that can't afford that, that $10,000 website.
Yeah.
Which I totally can sympathize with because I can't afford a $10,000 website. However, how about a $500 website? So you get an opportunity to have a website that is custom built for you for $500.
That's a good deal.
Not a bad deal at all. And one of the things that we're experimenting with is extra $50. I'll come down and take all your pictures. So I get to practice photography and take pictures of you.
You're a good photographer.
And you get to have customized. You don't have to use stock photos that way. You have your own photos of you, your smiling mug on your face on your website.
Because stock photos, they're just so stock. They really are.
Some of them are.
Yeah.
Some of them are. Also, as you may know, we take this show and we chop it up and we put it on YouTube. And so it's important for us that people subscribe to the YouTube channel just because it's another revenue stream to help support the show.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, it helps us reach a larger market. Right? We're on AM radio in Tucson.
Yes.
So we want to be able to, we have plans of taking over the world
Mhm.
and can't do that on AM radio in Tucson. So we're basically trying to put that on the internet. So subscribe to our YouTube page. It really helps us get more visibility on YouTube and helps out quite a bit.
Yes.
And the last thing that I want to mention that is self-promotional in nature is that I started this company because I like to help people.
Mhm.
And I want to be able to help you too. And basically anybody who needs the help. So if you know anybody that could use the help, we continue to every week. We take in machines that people donate and we find places that they can be used and give them away.
Give them a new home.
So if you have an old computer you want to get rid of, or you know somebody that could use one, we need either the machine or the information of who could use one all the time. It's very useful. It gives us the opportunity to kind of give back to the community in the ways that we can, considering I'm poor. Well, it's just sort of the way it is, you know.
That was a nice outro right there.
My affluence level is none.
Zip.
Right.
Zip, zilch, and zero.
But my altruism level is pretty high, and I try to help out as much as I can.
There you go. That's what counts.
Right. Just ask my employees. They're really nervous about their paychecks. So, yeah, I'm poor. But we appreciate the opportunity to give back to the community either through this show or through various give back programs that we have. And we thank you very much for listening to the show, and we'll see you next week. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Computer Guru Show. If you did, please consider sharing it with your friends and subscribing to this channel if you haven't already. Your subscription helps us reach new audiences and expand the show in new directions. Please also consider supporting us on Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you can help the Computer Guru Show expand into a longer format, as well as support the production of new content for this channel. Links are in the description below, and thank you again. We'll see you next week.